All right, folks. So it looks like Mamdani has won the mayor race. Not really a surprise.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that there is good news about this.
Okay.
First of all, we'll never have to say Sluwa again because I can't pronounce that very well.
We're not going to have to learn it.
I don't think we'll ever have to learn it. It'll never be an issue. We're done with that issue. Okay.
Right.
But in the end, more good news.
Yeah.
That Mamdani has won.
Oh, God.
Now we can simply put a huge wall around Manhattan and declare it a prison, just like that movie Escape from New York.
Yeah, it could be an escape from New York. Put all of our prisoners there. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make lemonade out of lemons here, folks. I'm always seeing the bright side of things. It's not going to be the end of the world. It's more of a reflection on the Democrats than it is, and the direction of the Democrats, than it is a true worrisome moment. Look, the fact is that most of the people who voted him in are not native-born Americans. They're citizens,
right?
But they're not native-born Americans. They're entitled to vote the way they want. I get that. But it reflects some immigration issues that we have. We've got people coming into this country who don't like this country very much. And they've decided that they want to bring in the socialism and decay and craptitude from their previous countries.
Yep. Yeah.
So you're going to get it, good and hard, as they say.
Yeah.
I don't think Mamdani's a very smart guy.
No.
That's another thing. I don't think he'll be able to effectuate most of what he's doing. But one thing, the bummer is that he's not going to be helping police fight crime.
Right.
He's not going to be supporting Jews. He's going to be amplifying the rights of Muslims, whatever that means. I think it means, 5 clarion calls a day for prayer.
Oh, that will be horrible.
Yes. Yeah. It's really that kind of thing will be the annoying factor of it. But he won't be able to, for example, impose rent control on every building there. He won't be able to give free transportation. The concept of a government grocery store, these are the 3 things that you hear from him all the time. And then, of course, to somehow stop the police from policing. Yeah. Which is madness.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to effectuate these things. I don't think you do either.
No.
But is this a disease that will be spread in terms of the socialism aspect of it? Is this a sign of where the Democrats are heading? I don't think so. I think it's more that it's a reflection of where the Democrats' far left has gone.
Right.
And that's where we can kind of keep it and contain it for the time being. We'll see. We do know that he's an idiot, though. And just to prove the point.
Wait, you have proof of this, that he's an idiot?
I have proof of it, my friends.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's take a look at his brilliant response, according to one particular commentator on ABC 7. He was interviewed about Israel and whether he thinks Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state. Check it out.
Do you support the concept of Israel as a Jewish state?
I've said time and again that I support Israel's right to exist as a state with equal rights for all. And ultimately, my focus is on the 5 boroughs of this city. And I know, however, that New Yorkers' hopes and dreams and fears extend beyond these 5 boroughs. And while I have made very clear my belief in universal human rights and my commitments to that end, I've also made clear a commitment that I am looking to lead every New Yorker, not just those that agree with me, not just those that voted for me. And leadership means having the difficult conversations. It means extending yourself to understand those disagreements and also the complexities of them. And that is something that I look forward to living up to each and every day.
All right. So you see how he's not actually answering the question.
Not at all.
He says in the very beginning he supports Israel.
Yeah.
Well, do you support it as a Jewish state? Which his non-answer means that he doesn't support Israel as a Jewish state. He wants Israel to have a bunch of other people in it, including Arabs. And frankly, he prefers that the Jews simply be a small minority of a Palestinian country. And you know it, and I know it. Let's not dicker around the issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this was presented by the leftist perspective, featuring this interview and saying it was a brilliant response by Zoran. Double fire flames, as his emojis. So there's nothing brilliant about it.
Yeah.
All it was a sidestep completely. Didn't really address the question. And the interviewer should have said, wait, I asked whether you support a Jewish state.
Right.
And he tacked over to his talking points where everyone is going to be represented by me. I'm in the interest of everyone, even those who disagree with me. Isn't that wonderful? And he's made his position very clear. He said that a couple of times there. So that's the kind of moron we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Now, it's also true that he's been very aggressive against Israel in the past. So you don't have to look far in the past. We had this before in last week's episode where we talked about how he had said that Israel was that Israel had laced the boots of the New York Police Department. The IDF had laced it as they stomp on your neck.
Right.
Right. So laced with what? I don't know. And how he's trying to say, well, we got to find a way to constantly bring up the issues of the rest of the world into our local politics so we can confuse everybody and get everybody angry about everything.
And that's exactly the opposite to what he says, where it's, I'm just worried about the 5 boroughs. I don't care about the rest of the world. And he's all over the place.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Here he is back in 2021, only 2 years ago, talking to a crowd about how wonderful he is in terms of his hatred toward Israel and his love of the Palestinians. Check it out.
But more important than that, I am someone who co-founded my college's first Students of Justice in Palestine. The struggle for Palestine is the struggle for dignity. And every single one of us that is committed to dignity in Greenpoint has to be committed to dignity in Gaza. Every single one of us that wants justice in Whitestone needs to be fighting for justice in the West Bank. You might ask yourself, what can...
All right. So that is... really shows his true colors about this. He really hates Israel. He considers it an occupying force. He wants to support Hamas and the end of Zionism. And what did he say before about, the global intifada? He wants to support that. He could never condemn it. There's a reason for that, folks. It's because he loves the global intifada.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. He's made it very clear. Look, it's now election night. He's already won.
Yeah.
And that's the way this cookie is going to crumble. But it leads to my theme right now, which is, why is it that so many people don't seem to get it? The obvious answer that this guy, for example, is clearly a pro-terrorist thug.
Yeah.
Okay? But he might not actually do the terrorism himself, but he does support Hamas and the Intifada, like we just talked about.
Right.
We also talked about, in many episodes of the past, how it is that people who are gay, people who are trans, for that matter, anybody who is not a Muslim man, how they can actually support the Palestinian cause, especially the Hamas cause, because were they to actually go to Gaza, they would quickly see their demise.
Wait, what?
Yes. You heard it here first on the Barak podcast.
They're not going to support and subsidize gay pride parades in Palestine?
So anyway, the fact is that they you see these people with the rainbow colors and everything else, and Queers for Palestine. You've seen this all.
Yeah.
They haven't changed their minds.
No.
Now, they're not really idiots. I mean, they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
In the sense that they have the same brain power that you and I have.
Right.
So what is it that motivates a Queer for Palestine, as it were, to support Queers for Palestine? And a person who is trans thinking that he can support the Palestinians. You might say, well, it's because they are supporting a minority of some kind, an oppressed people of some kind. No, that's not it.
That's not it?
Yeah. They should know that they're going to die. And I think that they do know that. They know that were they to actually go to Gaza and say, hey, we really support you, how can we help you, that they would die within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So you would think that they would be against that and maybe even support Israel, but they don't.
Right.
So they do know that, and they should know that.
Yeah.
All they need to do is look at their beautiful iPhone or their, whatever smartphone they have, and they can investigate this.
Right.
Do the Palestinians support the gay cause, LGBTQ, whatever? And they would find out a very quick answer: no. And then they can go into their crowd and their rally and say, "Wait a minute, people! Time out." It turns out that these guys don't really like us, and they would kill us.
Yeah.
And does the guy think that the mob would turn? Oh my gosh, I didn't know this. And here's some pictures of the people they kill. This is not hard to find.
They are not ashamed of it.
Not at all. They're very proud of it. In fact, they accuse Israel to the extent they have homosexuality in Gaza or the West Bank.
Yeah.
Which they know they do.
Right.
They accuse Israel of infecting them with homosexuality.
Really?
Oh yeah. We actually played a clip of that a long time ago on this podcast. It was really funny.
The troops are so good looking, they just can't resist them.
No. They did that because they thought, okay, this is, the Israelis must be doing this.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the theme for today. How is it? And the question must be answered.
Right.
Why is it that knowing that they would die, I don't think they're idiots. Like I said, it's not, you would have to assume that all of them didn't know that they would be killed if they went to Gaza, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Judea, Samaria. They would know.
Right.
All of them do know, for one thing, but at least a few of them must know, and yet they still support the cause for the Palestinians.
Yeah.
How can this be?
Yeah.
Here's the answer. Because their desire not to be accountable to God is far greater than their fear of being killed by the Palestinians.
Interesting.
They would rather blind themselves to knowing or appreciating that they would be killed than be accountable to God. Because the minute you start saying, you know what, maybe the Christians are right, maybe the Jews are right, and maybe the trans issue, the gay issue, maybe there's some contradiction in the Torah, in the New Testament for that matter too. Maybe there's something in there that says I shouldn't be doing this, and that they are engaging in inappropriate sins.
Yeah.
They would rather die than change or take the risk of being that, because they're not going to go to Gaza. They're not going to go to the West Bank. No. Nobody's taking them to task.
No.
It's not like Greta Thunberg, right? She's not gay, so she went to Israel and hoped that she would be met with loving arms by the Gazans. And of course, it didn't even get to that point. But you don't see a bunch of trans people going to Gaza saying, "Hey, we're here to help you. We're here to feed you." Yeah. You don't see that because they know.
Yeah.
And so they'd rather take the hypothetical risk and just ignore the reality of that hypothetical risk of death than to be accountable to God.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I think that's true.
That's my thesis. Yeah. I'm sticking with it. You can't budge me.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right, because once you embrace sin and hatred, because that's what they have. It's, if Donald Trump is against it, Donald Trump is evil, ergo I'm going to be on the other side no matter what. Right. And they're blinded by that hate. They're blinded by a sin that should not be that big a part of your life. Right. That is your entire identity. And I think,
well, they may say their entire identity is because, the world has mocked them so much and they have no choice but to wrap their entire identity in their transgenderism. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it shouldn't be that, but it is. Yeah. That's the way it works. So anyway, that's just for the trans issue, the gay issue to that extent, queers for Palestine and everything else. But in many ways, it's also true for the rest of the world. They don't want to believe that the Palestinians would do any of these horrific things to them. And by the way, it's not just gays and trans people. It's women.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't want to wear a hijab.
Yeah.
She's going to be imprisoned. She might die. She might be stoned if she doesn't wear the appropriate clothing or what they deem appropriate.
Right.
You're going to be stoned, maybe killed.
Yeah.
So these are big issues, and they ignore these issues.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian and you support them, you're going to die in Gaza. There are virtually no Christians in any of these Arab countries.
No.
At the very best, you would just have a miserable life.
Yeah.
You'd live what they call a dhimmi life, Dhimi, I believe it's spelled.
Yeah.
Which means that you live in these cultures, these Arab cultures, Muslim cultures, and you live as a third-class citizen, and you have to pay a tax just because you are not Muslim.
Yeah.
And I think it's worse if you're Jewish. So
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
there are virtually no Jews in these countries anymore.
No.
And it's getting less and less in the way of Christians and Jews. So, and then they complain that Israel is somehow the apartheid country. All right, I think I've said enough about this. But look, the more important issue for Devin today is that former Prince Andrew, has been stripped of his royal titles.
Oh.
And he's been evicted from Windsor Castle.
Oh.
I know that this has deeply disturbed you.
It has.
We've talked this out. What with you being a fan of royalty and whatnot, I think it's something you need to get over.
But what about Fergie? What's going to happen with that princess?
I don't know.
Or Duchess.
The whole royalty thing is it's quite a conundrum for me. And they actually had the No Kings protest in England. Hello, I'm your king.
No king except for ours.
Anyway, speaking about no kings, so there's a D.C. rally now aiming to drive Trump out of office now.
Okay, yeah.
Particularly on November 5. That's the plan, where they plan to surround the White House, the Capitol, and the Supreme Court because they are not happy with Trump and the things that are happening in this country. Yeah. Because, democracy doesn't work unless the liberals are in charge.
Yeah.
As long as you understand that, then everything will be just fine.
Right.
Okay, stick with the program, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Now, time to talk about the shutdown.
The shutdown.
Shutdown.
Shut it down.
Shut down.
Shut it down.
Shut down. Apparently, it may be ending very shortly.
After this vote?
After these elections. I don't know what it is. Somehow they tied these midterms with this. If the shutdown ends November 5, then you know that there was some sort of tying in. If it continues on for another week or so, well then, maybe there was no tie-in. But I think that there is a tie-in of some sort. Democrats seem to be breaking from other Democrats saying, you know what, we'll vote to end this shutdown.
Yeah.
I think they've discovered that it's really hurting them.
Yeah.
Because the Republican talking points are excellent, saying, look, we just wanted a clean resolution. We can talk about whatever you want after we get the government back up in operations.
Right.
But right now, no, we're not going to be held hostage. And that was the point.
Yeah.
All right. That's really bad for them. That was a really bad moment for them. It's interesting because the shutdown is a little bit similar to what's happening with Mamdani. They are out of touch with the reality, and I think they were very out of touch with the shutdown.
Yeah.
They decided to shut down the government knowing, or should have known, that this would inure very much to their detriment. They would look very bad as a result of this.
Yeah.
And they proceeded anyway. And now they're finding out that, surprise, surprise, people are really resenting them for it.
Yeah.
Frank Luntz, who's a pollster, is saying, look, it doesn't help either party, but the Democrats are really hurting much more. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
How they can possibly say that somehow the Republicans are trying to make people hungry or to starve them out or whatever it is. And the Republicans say, what are you talking about? We voted 13 times for a continuing resolution. We're just asking you to do it the 14th time. And then we can talk about anything you want. That's that it's impossible to defeat that argument.
Yeah.
So they lose. And now that's going to have lasting damage coming into the 2026 elections.
Yeah.
And we'll remember this. This is now officially the longest shutdown in American history.
Really?
Yeah. By 1 day so far. So we'll see. I mean, November 5, tomorrow, if they reopen the government, it'll still be the longest, but not by much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but I think it's going to be, definitely easily at the end of next week. It's not going to, then we're going to back on track.
Right.
Yeah.
But your girl, Kamala Harris.
Oh, nice.
Who's got a new book out, by the way.
Yeah, so literate.
So she says she's very upset about the shutdown, but also, while we're shutting down the government and everyone is losing their jobs, that they're building a ballroom. And how crazy is that?
Yeah.
Now, I'm about to quote her. She's about to play the video. I will warn you that there are some swears involved. The F word in particular seems to make a glorious appearance throughout this video several times. But just take a listen.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
Won't somebody think of the babies?
Yeah.
Right?
Those F word
the
babies.
It's all about the babies.
She's my little Bukowski. She drinks, writes, and curses. That's what she does. Yeah.
I love it when people say, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, here she added in the effing kidding me. But when they say, "Are you kidding me?" Like maybe one day somebody will say, "Actually, yeah, I was."
Yeah.
And then what did they say to that?
Yeah.
Right? That'd be kind of fun. But are you kidding me? Who's the you here?
Right.
And why would they be kidding?
Yeah.
Are you kind of speaking to the ether there? And do we have to say, no, we're not kidding you. The ballroom is necessary. Lady, the world doesn't stop because your team has decided to shut down the government.
Right.
Okay. We are going to be doing other things, including dealing with issues in China, the Middle East, the Russia-Ukraine situation, and the economy here in America. We have to continue the government one way or the other.
Yeah.
No thanks to you.
Yeah.
So what does she expect? That we've shut down the government and therefore we're supposed to do nothing?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that we're fixing the ballroom. What time is the best time to fix the ballroom?
Right.
Right. To change it or to create that ballroom? What time?
Yeah.
Does the world have to be in total peace before we're allowed to make renovations to the White House, necessary renovations? The East Wing was really quite useless.
Yeah.
It was not being used in a proper way. And the White House was an embarrassment from a dignitary point of view because we didn't have a grandiose ballroom with which people could actually dance. So it's, you need a place.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Or the question is, and it's a serious question, what could Trump do that they actually would be, this was a good thing in real time, not like 10 years from now when J.D. Vance is president, they'll be like, oh, Trump was doing this and he's better. But right now there is nothing. And it becomes tiresome because there is nothing he can do that they're not going to say is the most evil thing possible.
That is true. That is very true. That everything that he does is evil in their eyes. And this ballroom is a good example of that. I mean, you just have to be able to do things at some point. There have been renovations in the past in the White House and otherwise. I don't know. I think they have nothing to grab onto. And so they know that they're a party that doesn't really advance any particular theme other than talk about they're for the little guy, whatever that means.
Yeah.
What does the little guy mean?
Nobody knows.
So, well, they'll probably tell you, well, I'm for the minimum wage,
Yeah.
or the living wage is what they call it. I'm for rent control because people ought to be able to live in a place. Never mind that everyone, landlords won't want to be landlords anymore.
Right.
And I don't know how it's going to create exactly the opposite of what you hope for, which is unaffordable housing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the way it's going to work. But you have to discover these things over and over again. It's an embarrassment. Kamala Harris, we wish you well. Is she going to run for president in 28?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she tries to throw herself into the limelight. I mean, if I didn't know better, I think she's given up the bottle, and the Mary Jane. I think she's given it up. She's actually kind of puts a sentence or two together.
Yeah.
And that's important in this wackaday world of ours.
Completely is.
Well, I guess that's enough about Harris right now. I mean, but I really do think you ought to reconsider your relationship with her.
Okay.
Because I'm beginning to wonder whether she's really sane at all. So it's but when people devolve into swearing like she does, it says that they're lacking substance at all. And that's what we're seeing here. So, sorry. Very big stories now as well. Now that we know that all the Democrats have won all the key races that they were fighting for in these off-year elections.
Yeah.
So the Virginia Attorney General, the Virginia Governor, the New Jersey Governor, and Mamdani, which was, of course, as we said in the beginning, he's the mayor, and it's you get what you vote for.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
No one thinks that great things are going to happen with Mamdani, but they'll have to discover things the hard way. That's okay. It'll be okay. The term is 4 years, and it'll be such a disaster that there's under no circumstances will he improve the lives of New Yorkers.
No.
And people are already leaving New York, and understandably so. Florida is already bracing for all these New Yorkers to come. No, seriously.
They have to get shelters.
And some people have already left because they knew that Mamdani is going to win.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a landlord or you're a developer, you're not going to develop in New York City. What advantage is there? There are so many better places with a better return on investment. I mean, even if you are as optimistic as you possibly could be in New York that you would get, let's say, a 2% return. That's about the best you could expect, 5% return. Why go through all the risk for the sake of a 5% return? You can get that from a certificate of deposit. Or many banks are now offering 5% return. Yeah. Okay, so why develop anything in New York and be, constantly chastised for, not having the right kind of hammer and not saying the right thing to this employee or that, or not giving vacation breaks. Whatever it might be, there's no point. To developing in New York, let alone owning any property in New York, because maybe you're required now to give your property, if you have more than one property, to illegal aliens so that they have a place to live. I mean, who knows what the mindset of Mamdani is going to be, but it ain't going to be capitalist. They're also going to make sure that the police are not roaming the streets and actually protecting citizens.
That's the worst part. My God.
Yeah. And then they'll be surprised when crime goes up. That's okay. You want to be an idiot, by all means, do so. My father used to say it. He said, stupidity is forever. Yeah. Right? A lot of things can change, but stupidity is forever.
Yeah.
And this mindset of the Democrats that communism is awesome, socialism is awesome, is just plain stupid.
Yeah.
And I even had a ChatGPT discussion today, and I talked about the benefits of capitalism. Isn't capitalism wonderful? And I said, what are the key distinctions between capitalism and socialism, and what's good about that in the race? And ChatGPT said, well, there are advantages to capitalism. It's investment and such. And socialism makes sure that people are taken care of fairly. And I said, well, it's true, though, that communism and socialism has never worked. Isn't that right? Yes, that is correct. This is ChatGPT having a conversation with me in real time, an actual conversation, not just words on the prompt. And it said, yes, it's never worked. In fact, it's led to horrific results. And so I said, well, so why do people want socialism?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Barak. So they're being polite with me, but it's very funny.
Yeah.
And I said, well, under no circumstance. Why would it's like saying a little arsenic is good for you. It's not. It's under no circumstances is good for you. But they want a lot of arsenic, as it turns out. And the idea is like, well, we're helping people because we say it's helping people.
Yeah.
But that's the bottom line. That's what we're really fighting at the end of the day, as well as people who just want to sabotage America as much as possible. And they'll start with New York. So people are fleeing New York already, and they're going to flee for certain now more and more. Within the next month, you'll see this massive migration.
Wow.
And I never thought I'd say that. I like with every other election, you get a Democrat. They don't know what they're doing. You know, they're going to raise taxes and things like. Okay, this time it's worse. This is like the first time people are talking about fleeing an area because there's no good that can come out of it.
Yeah.
There's no sense of hope at all. The communists are going to be taking over. Not only that, but the Islamists are going to be taking over.
Yeah.
So businesses are also leaving New York City. That's even less of a surprise, right? They're going to be going to Dallas, and which is very business friendly. They're going to be going to Florida, same reason. Tennessee. That's the good news for businesses. Why should I stay in New York?
All right.
We can make so much money in other places. This is a doomed city if we continue on like this. But it's okay. You know, you have to hit rock bottom before you start, anew again, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
All right. There's more unrelated news, but still the same sort of corruption that we're talking about. And this is from the PJ Media.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this? Operation Arctic Frost?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So PJ Media says that the specifics make your blood boil. Then Special Counsel Jack Smith sought Senator Ted Cruz's communications from AT&T, and Boasberg, the judge, rubber-stamped the request. But here's where it gets really ugly. Boasberg issued an order explicitly prohibiting AT&T from notifying Cruz that its records were being seized. The justification, you ask? The court claimed Cruz would destroy evidence and intimidate witnesses if he found out. Merrick Garland was a fundamentally corrupt attorney general. Jack Smith was a fundamentally corrupt prosecutor. This was a political enemies list from the beginning, Cruz told reporters during a press conference. If a judge signs an order reaching a factual conclusion for which there is zero evidence, that judge is abusing his power.
Yep.
I am right now calling on the House of Representatives to impeach Judge Boasberg. And that's exactly, by the way, what has happened. Somebody has actually filed articles of impeachment against him.
Nice.
So we now know also, this is from Town Hall, as we continue to endure this Democrat-induced government shutdown, the investigation into the fishing expedition by Special Counsel Jack Smith remains ongoing. Senator Chuck Grassley has uncovered disturbing details about how this probe, one of many, into Donald Trump and the 2020 election turned into a wholesale surveillance operation into the Republican Party and the conservative movement writ large. Look up Mission Creep, and this Operation Arctic Frost should be in the appendix.
Yeah.
Attorney General Mamdani revealed today that President Trump's government phone was handed over to Smith by the Biden administration.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is her actual tweet. During the Arctic Frost investigation, we found that Special Counsel seized Trump's government-issued phone. This means the Biden administration turned over President Trump's phone to Special Counsel, an unprecedented action. In addition, Special Counsel subpoenaed all of President Trump's personal phone records. We can never again allow this kind of government weaponization in America. Anyway, it's really quite amazing. Ex-Biden AG Merrick Garland, Deputy AG Lisa Monaco,
the worst,
and then FBI Chief Chris Wray all knew about this investigation and signed off on it. They ordered the code red. Over 400 conservative organizations, including the late Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA, were targeted. At least 8 Republican senators were also put under the microscope. Subpoenas were issued for their phone records and metadata. We were one step away from the Biden DOJ likely issuing wiretaps on these individuals. Judge James Boasberg signed off on all these telecommunications subpoenas.
Wow, what a monster.
How do you like that?
I'm wondering about did they have illegally classified documents? Because the president has the super top secret. Is Jack Smith allowed to have that? Are Ray and Amaria Garland and Monaco allowed to have that
No,
level
they're
of
not.
clearance?
But it's all about trying to get information. Look, Judge James Boasberg was a true believer and felt that what he did was just wonderful. And then you also have, I guess I really want to talk about this, also about James Comey and what he did as well. So, yeah, here it is. Comey in trouble. Federal prosecutors revealed Monday that they have unearthed a trove of personal emails showing then FBI Director James Comey openly talked in the days before the 2016 election that he expected to be working soon for President-elect Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
Okay? Or would be a president-elect if she had won, and was being kept apprised by a top FBI aide on efforts to anonymously provide information to the news media. That's James Comey.
That doesn't sound legal either. Yeah.
So Comey wrote in an early November 2016 email before the election, "Well done, my friend. Who knew this would be so fun?"
Oh, wow.
This he sent to an FBI Special Government employee, Dan Richman, as he was briefing the FBI director on his efforts to provide information and guidance to the New York Times on an article involving Clinton's email scandal. The emails were referenced in a bombshell court filing by acting U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan and her deputy, Tyler Lemons, in which the government rejected Comey's argument that he was being maliciously prosecuted for misleading Congress about actions he took as FBI director. Halligan cited and attached to the filing numerous emails in which Comey was clearly aware that Richmond was working to provide information anonymously to news outlets about the Clinton email case, and that he expected those outreach efforts to end with Clinton defeating Donald Trump in the November 2016 election. Someday they will figure it out. And as individual one and individual two, they kind of, what do you call it, redact it, point out, my decision, meaning Comey, my decision will be one a President-elect Clinton will be very grateful for. How do you like that?
Wow.
Comey wrote Richmond in one such email in late October 2016. Halligan's filing said that the emails showed Comey was aware and was encouraging Richmond's contacts with the media, contrary to Comey's claims to Congress.
Wow.
Okay? I mean, this guy's toast.
I sure hope so.
And that's sort of why you got indicted, James Comey. You gave false testimony and obstructed a congressional proceeding regarding hearings about these leaks. This is from the, I believe, town hall. Comey has alleged that the charges against him are malicious. They're not, and he knew he would be discovered, albeit likely many, many years from now, post-Clinton. But it did happen much sooner than you thought, didn't it? Jimmy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm very excited about this coming out.
Yeah.
All right, I want to wrap up with couple of small, actually a huge item.
Yeah.
And that is about about Israel and the things that are going on. We're seeing major changes happening in Israel. And among them, J.D. Vance was talking at the Turning Point event, and he gave answers to this one guy who was wearing MAGA accoutrement, shall we say, a MAGA hat and everything else. And he was talking about how Israel is massacring, committing a genocide. And Charlie would say, whoa. You don't have any evidence for that. Move on.
Right.
I'm not going to accept that. And Vance didn't correct the guy. Now,
I got you.
You can say maybe it was late at night and everything else. But he also said something to the effect of, the Jews don't even believe in Jesus. Therefore, we shouldn't even concern ourselves with them.
Really?
And instead, Vance said, well, we need to be understanding of all people. And we can, it's fair to say, let's have an open debate. Oh, really? Open debate between Christianity and Judaism? That's going to be healthy? We should talk about theology and debate who's right and who's wrong on theology?
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, we need to bring people together by
Yes.
our common purpose of goodness. Yeah.
The results of a new Palestinian public opinion survey have just been released. Here are some of the key takeaways. It's released by the PCPSR. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I think Palestinian is somewhere in there. Overall, 53% of Palestinians say the decision by Hamas to launch the October 7 attack was correct.
Oh, wow.
Overall satisfaction with Hamas's performance is 60%.
Oh my God.
That is 66 in the West Bank, 51 in the Gaza Strip. I would think it'd be like 1%.
Yeah.
When asked which political party people support, 35% said Hamas, 24% Fatah, 32% they either support none or don't know. If legislative elections were held today with all forces participating, 44% would still vote for Hamas, and everyone else is smaller.
Oh my God.
In a hypothetical presidential race between Hamas via Khalid Mishal and Abbas, the Hamas candidate would win 63-27.
Wow.
The poll also found that over the last 2 years, support for Hamas has increased. 19% said their support increased a lot, 17% a little, rather than decreased. Bizarre.
Yeah.
You would think that the people would be pretty pissed off with Hamas for allowing an attack to result in the utter destruction of their homes. I don't know. Maybe these people are fearing for their lives and they have to say what they think Hamas wants them to say.
Right.
So maybe it's like a North Korea situation. I think we're maybe imputing a free sensibility among these people that they're saying what they actually believe and what they truly want.
Yeah.
So let's not be too impressed with this poll right now. I remember in the Iraq War, 98% of the people said that they love Saddam Hussein, and then when Saddam Hussein was toppled, they said, "Thank you, America." Right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
An admission from Syracuse University, post-October 7 campus demonstrations were encouraged from Iran. Syracuse knew this. The candor and the clarity is helpful. I'm quoting from, I believe, Town Hall, and it fits what has been the intuition and gut sense from those who are watching closely. That is, malicious actors like Iran had to be behind what we witnessed. Alana Goodman for the Free Beacon writes, several leaders of prominent universities on Monday said that they believe the anti-Israel and anti-Semitic demonstrations that broke out on campuses across the U.S. during the Jewish state's war against Hamas were not organic, instead telling a panel audience that they believe organized networks, quote unquote, and even foreign governments may have driven the unrest. Oh, you think?
Yep. Yeah.
During the event,
obvious.
though, Syracuse Chancellor Kent Svir, brought up Iran in particular. I really believe the demonstrations were encouraged from Iran, he said. It did not have the involvement of very many, if any, of our own students. Vanderbilt University Chancellor Daniel Diermeyer agreed, saying the anti-Israel movement on his campus seemed to have been coordinated by outside forces and followed a playbook that was imported from other universities. Okay, great, but why didn't you stop them?
Yeah.
If you knew this and it appeared that way to you, sir, then why didn't you jump in?
Yeah.
And say, get the frig off my campus?
As it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Why did you not support Israel?
Yeah.
And now that we know that it was all this and things are changing and turning around, suddenly you're the one saying, yeah, it was definitely organized by Iran, which is no surprise, but still.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're heroes. It reminds me of the scene in there are many movies like this, but there's the bad guy, the main Nazi bad guy in Inglourious Bastards. He realizes that the war is going poorly for the Germans.
Yeah.
And so he suddenly becomes an informer for the United States, and he's going to betray the Nazis, knowing very well he's actually done most of the work that the Nazis have told him to do.
Right.
He's only just, put his finger to the wind and he's going with the United States. And then, of course, they beat him up after, which is kind of a cool scene.
Yeah.
But isn't this the same thing? They
Right.
realize which way the wind is blowing, and if they want to get support from the Trump administration, they better speak, greatly about Israel and poorly about the Palestinian protests.
Yeah.
There's no courage among these people.
None.
Just none.
Not in academia. There's no courage in colleges.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this podcast with a very good speech from Hugh Hewitt. And he said this in the recent Republican Jewish Coalition event in Las Vegas. Which country is America's most important ally? Hands down, it is Israel. Israel is the only other genuine democracy on the planet that is a nuclear superpower with the will and ability to project hard power across vast distances, and which provides the United States with a reliable ally in what has been the most turbulent area of the world since the end of World War II. We don't have to hope for anything when it comes to Israel. Israel spending 8.8% of its GDP on the IDF in these years of war, and it's closer to 5% than 4% even in the most peaceful of years. Israel's high-tech defense sector also powers much of the innovation of the free world that the free world requires to remain free. Even its critics recognize Israel as an intelligence superpower and its democracy as genuine as any Western nation. When it comes to assessing America's allies, Israel is first among equals. That's as quoted by Fox News. Thank you, Hugh Hewitt, for being such a light. It's a Christian man, and he understands this. May other Christians and others who seek freedom and seek the advance of Western civilization appreciate what he just said and adopt what he just said, because that's the only way we're going to survive. And if you want good evidence of that, just watch what's going to happen in New York City in the next coming years. You're going to get a real taste of what communism and, very importantly, Islam is really all about. All right, my friends, Barak Lurie signing off, saying God bless, be strong, and we'll talk with you next week.